NBA strategy breakdown, Thursday, November 13th. Just a 3-game slate on a night with Thursday night football. And this one's gonna be pretty wild. I'm Josh Engleman, by the way. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. We've got a real mess on our hands for tonight. Value, very weird. And a lot of news up in the air that we're going to get to right out of the gate. The first game of the night, Cleveland and Toronto. And we're setting the stage here immediately with Cleveland. They played yesterday. They're on a back-to-back. We don't know their injury status. We won't get it until 1:30, but that is going to be a very important document for two reasons. One, like, we know there was no Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Tyson, somebody else as well yesterday, missing a ton of dudes. We expect Donovan Mitchell to be playing today and Evan Mobley to be playing today. They were just simply out for rest on the back-to-back. However, Darius Garland was actually hurt coming out of the last time he played. Now, he's had toe issues for the better part of a year at this point, or longer, if I remember correctly. So we don't know if he is hurt for today, or just simply they were fine, they rested him yesterday, and now he's going to be fine. So we're going to get that news. I expect him to be listed as questionable, which isn't going to be helpful. The other piece here, a little bit further down the line for Cleveland, but still relevant, especially if we get the Garland news. Jalen Tyson got a concussion last time out. Now, he missed yesterday's game as well. Is he going to get cleared from concussion protocol today? We have no idea. So there's a situation where Cleveland looks way different by the time we get to lock. And it's fully based on whether or not Darius Garland and or Jalen Tyson play. One thing's for certain, whether they play or not, $8,600 Evan Mobley is the most interesting piece for Cleveland at this moment. 30% owned, 30% optimal. Now, if Garland and Tyson go, we're going to start funneling in a bunch of additional value. DeAndre Hunter will look better. Donovan Mitchell will unequivocally look a little bit better. Sam Merrill gets a bump. Craig Porter Jr. coming off of a banger yesterday, he would get a bump. Because this is going to move around 50-something minutes between those two guys if they are in or out as a package, at least. So we want to pay very close attention there. I can't break down Cleveland too much because those two things are going to swing this big time. But whether they're in or not, Evan Mobley is a thing. For Toronto, the weird thing for the Raptors is that I think I'm more interested in them if their questionable guys are in. Sandro Mamukelashvili and Colin Murray-Boyles, both questionable here. If Mamu is in, it's a 3-game slate. Backup centers at low price tags that can fill the stat sheet are interesting. And while Jakob Poeltl played 30 minutes last time out, I don't know if that's going to be a regular occurrence. Toronto is their typical problematic self. Quickly, Barnes, Barrett, Ingram, 17, 14, 13, 12 ownership. I mean, those might as well all be the same number. None of this is ever going to look great. When you're playing Toronto guys, especially on a slate like this, just let them be the last guy in. If you've got a point guard spot open, it's Quickly. If it's a power forward, it's Barnes. If it's a shooting guard, it's Barrett. If it's a small forward, it's Ingram. Whichever one shows up is fine. I don't know how to separate those guys on a day-to-day basis. We either need one of them out so they all look better, or one of them to have a broken price tag. Apologies right now for the FanDuel side. We're not going to have ownership or optimal rates up for this video today. It has something to do with the way we grab the FanDuel slates. They're not really set up properly yet. Ultimately, with a 3-game slate and with the injury news we have right now, the ownership numbers aren't the big takeaway, but really the boom column is going to tell us what we need to know for this morning. So I think that we're still getting here. And I don't know why I selected Cleveland and Atlanta on the FanDuel side. Let's get back to the Cleveland-Toronto thing. It's going to be the same story here. Darius Garland, 6K. If for some reason he's playing, he's probably the most interesting thing for Cleveland. But I also assume that he's not playing. Evan Mobley looks great here, just like he did on DraftKings. All of the Toronto guys are kind of in the same boat, although it does look like Scotty Barnes is the best option. If you're a believer in Jakob Poeltl's minutes from last time out, 5,400 is underpriced for him on FanDuel. If you're not a believer, you can still do the Mamu thing here. But this is all the same story and it's all the same takeaways, whether it's DraftKings or FanDuel. Without the Garland-Tyson news, we can't make any real decisions. Now, the first game we had from today starts at 7. The next two lock at 9, which is a weird environment for what we've got to do for late swaps tonight. As you can see right now, and this isn't something that I would expect to change all that much, Devin Booker, most popular guy in this game. Incredible matchup, although, Neesmith can irritate him, but it's Devin Booker. 9,300, point guard only, 35% owned. And we're starting to chip away on some of the value that could get to him. He'll look even better if we get that news in Cleveland. You'll note the second guy here, though. Jordan Goodwin at 3,500 is 30% owned. This is what's happening with this slate today. There's no value. We don't have any paydowns. And if you want to get to Devin Booker or Pascal Siakam or Donovan Mitchell today, you're going to have to shave salary elsewhere. And that's why we're seeing someone like Jordan Goodwin showing up like this. There's going to be a few different versions of Jordan Goodwin today, especially if that Cleveland news happens. And we'll get to Atlanta because that could be even crazier. You're seeing a little value on Royce O'Neal, on Grayson Allen. They don't stand out to me. They're just guys that play 30 minutes, The key talking point for Phoenix is going to be their center situation. We have not seen Mark Williams play a back-to-back yet. He missed both of them so far. So we're either going to get Nick Richards starting at center at 3,200, which is what we have in right now. TBD on who that is, but that's the assumption. It could be Oso Ighodaro. And in theory, it could be Kaman Malawach, but they don't seem to like him so far, which is a very interesting way to use a top 10 draft pick and trade for a center at the same time. But who am I to tell the Phoenix Suns how to run their team? Ultimately, we're going to have a little more center value in Phoenix because Mark Williams is likely not playing in this game. But if you want something other than those rando centers, Devin Booker and Jordan Goodwin are going to take your focus. It is a very different story for the Indiana Pacers. We don't get to a Pacers name until the fifth guy in ownership, and that's Andrew Nembhard. Now, I will happily play $6,600 Andrew Nembhard in this spot. I like him more than what we're showing. Sign me up for a little bit of positive leverage there. $4,300 Jeremiah Robinson Earl with a power forward center eligibility is also going to look like a value play that we can get to. TBD on the Phoenix value, maybe that'll look better. But if JRE is going to keep starting, that power forward eligibility is going to help us out a ton. I really don't have much else interest in this Indy team. Keep an eye on the starters at center. Last time out, it was not Isaiah Jackson. We are assuming it will be this time. Now, for the most part, this is similar on FanDuel, but with one minor caveat. Isaiah Jackson looks a lot better on FanDuel than he does on DraftKings. It's just a positional thing and a price thing, but he has the second highest boom rate of anybody here. Now, Booker's at the top. We're not surprised. You do want to play him across both sites. FanDuel typically makes pay-up options look a little bit better. That's why Siakam is a little bit higher here. Nick Richards at 3,700, if he gets the start, will be an interesting value option. But the one guy like JRE is now very difficult to get here at 4,100 because he's center only. That's not nearly as appealing. And similarly, like $3,800 Jordan Goodwin at shooting guard will be a solid point per dollar play, but it's not going to read the same as a value option on FanDuel as it will on DraftKings. But this is another game where we need this news. Both teams' starting centers are up in the air. Before we get to this final game, hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss our content. I'm putting this out every single day. And if you want to sign up at Stokastic and get access to everything I'm talking about, it's very simple. Link in the description. It's going to take you to a landing page at stokastic.com, and it's going to outline a bunch of our partners, either sportsbooks or pick'em sites. All of the instructions are on that page right at the top. You can't miss it. You follow those instructions, you'll end up with a month of The Sims. For each and every partner, that you sign up through. So if it's 4 of them, you get 4 months of the Sims, and you won't pay us a dime during that time. You can't beat that offer. So check it out below. Atlanta and Utah. This game is going to be a mess, and it's already looking like a crazy game, and the mess hasn't happened yet. Let's start with the easy part. It's a back-to-back for Atlanta. We're not expecting Kristaps Porzingis to play. Everybody is well aware that you're not going to get KP on back-to-backs. So that is already taken care of. Onyeka Okongwu into the starting spot. 57% owned right now. He'll be one of the most popular plays because he's just projected to get more run. And there's no Trae Young here, so he can do more offensively when he's out there. But that's not even the most important piece here. Right now, Jalen Johnson is projected to be the second most popular dude in this game. And he looks amazing today at 8,300, especially against the Utah Jazz. They're dreadful. But Jalen Johnson also hasn't played a back-to-back this year. And if he's not set up to play, this Atlanta team changes the whole slate. They're not all that healthy. They don't have a ton of bodies. So whether it ends up being Mo Gay, who's already 25% owned, Risa Shea will take on more minutes at that time. We're going to end up looking at someone like Asa Newell because we have to fill those minutes. What happens to like Vit Krejci or Keaton Wallace? Because if Jalen Johnson's out, I don't think they're going to start Mo Gay. I think they're going to move everybody a notch to the right. You're going to get a Okongwu at the 5, Risa Shea at the 4, Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then probably, to me, one of Krejci or Keaton Wallace, because I think you need to maintain that size rotation. They've only got 3 bigs if Jalen Johnson doesn't play. It's Okongwu, it's Mo Gay, and it's Asa Newell. So I think you got to keep those guys separated, at least at the beginning, and we would get one of the guards. So that's going to create extra guard value. It's going to create extra forward value by bumping some of these other guys. Atlanta is loaded. And, Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been dinged up lately too. I don't know if he's going to sit. I don't expect that he's going to sit, but it's not like it'd be crazy if he shows up on this injury report. This Atlanta news will be massive, but one way or the other, you're getting to these guys no matter what we get. Okongwu looks great. Jalen Johnson in, great. Out, creates everything else. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's 40% owned, and I barely mentioned him. Dyson Daniels is 30% owned. Like, those are no-brainer plays for today. It's Utah. As bad of a defense as you can get, they're going to give up points in bunches. The guy that I like the most, that I think is most sneaky, though, Zachary Risaché's minutes are coming up a little bit. I liked him last year as a rookie. He's been off to a really bad start, but 5,100 small forward only. I want Risaché before I want Ace Bailey. Bailey $300 cheaper. They're right next to each other. Same boom rates, slightly different ownership, same optimals. But I lean Risaché over Ace, and it's especially Risaché if Jalen Johnson ends up out. This game has the opportunity to look insane. One other thing I'd like to add, I find Markkanen fascinating, like I always do. Keontae George, probably a little like pay up to be contrarian type situation today at 10% ownership. And then, if you want to pay down for some of this other value like Kyle Filipowski or Bryce Sensabaugh, Collier probably too expensive. This one's just going to look totally different. For a 3-game slate, we got a lot of balls in the air. And for that final peak on the FanDuel side, $5,600 Yusuf Nurkic, no matter what happens, is gonna look good. He's gonna stand out as a value. Jalen Johnson, second in boom right now. If he's in, he's great. If he's not, it changes everything. Onyeka Okongwu has the power forward eligibility on FanDuel. So whatever we thought about him on DraftKings, think about what you can do now with all of this extra flexibility. Walker and Daniels they go without saying. Mo Gay, if Johnson's out at 4,300, also having that power forward eligibility, huge. Isaiah Collier, a much different value on FanDuel. Risaché has that same flexibility. He is going to go overlooked today, I'm confident. But if this mixes up, $4,200 Keaton Wallace, $3,800 Vit Krejci, we're going to find some value for Atlanta. We just need to know who it is. And the only way we're going to get that is through the injury report. And even more importantly, by watching Live Before Lock tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time with me and Eric Lindquist, giving you all of the goods leading up until 7.